best delight. Three of the best is running on out wide. Leader our Little General. Three of the best out wide runs on. Our Little General in front. Three of the best to danger. Our Little General, three of the best. They go to the line, locked together. Our Little General may be narrowly.
Well, welcome to the good form preview of the Vicbred Super Series first night on Saturday night at Lord's Raceway, Bendigo, the new and improved Vicbred Super Series, as we know, generally staggered over quite a period of time now, targeted to specific nights, and the first night, as I mentioned, Saturday night at Bendigo for the 2-year-old boys and the 2-year-old girls. We're going to focus on the boys first of all, and shock news coming out of Maryborough and Ballarat, I guess the Smythes Creek stable today, with the scratching of the Storm Inside, who was the clear #1 raider for the 2-year-old colts and geldings division, having smashed his rivals in the Australian Pacing Gold Series. So huge news, and if Novak Djokovic is out, I guess that elevates someone. The Andy Murray might be the stablemate here in our Little General, the little pocket rocket. He goes around in the third of the 4 heats at Lord's Raceway on Saturday night. Draws outside the front line, so things won't be easy for him, and in fact he takes on a handy group of rivals, including Wardown Express, who's back in Victoria now with Amanda Turnbull. 4 Shots was a great debutante winner, of course the son of former gun race mare Alexa, but our Little General should be winning on Saturday night. He'll be the one who'll benefit most from the scratching of the Storm Inside out of this series. He's just been so good all the way through, won the Youthful and the Sapling Stakes. The times that he's been beaten have been by the Storm Inside. So, as I mentioned, he'll be the big beneficiary of his absence. The horses that he's likely to face at semi-final level, and the ones that are the other top raters on exposed form, there are going to be horses come out of Saturday night that we don't know much about who are going to produce some big performances. But on exposed form, some of the major dangers to our Little General in terms of taking this series out. Rapper's Delight would be chief among them. Of course, he was ultra impressive winning his first 2 starts, one of which included a heat of the Australian Pacing Gold Series. Things didn't go quite right from there, but he's got a huge amount of ability. Jeff Webster's always had a massive opinion of him. He goes around in the second of the qualifiers on Saturday night at Bendigo. Draws the pole. Gates be a little bit of a question mark, but I think if he can hold the forward position or even head them at the start, he'll be a little bit too good, and if he's in anything like the form that we saw earlier in the season, he'll be a big danger at semi-final and final level of the series. And in terms of a couple of the other dangers, they go around in the first of the qualifiers on Saturday night at Bendigo, and I speak of STAROFSAHARA, who was a very impressive winner of the Vicbred Platinum Homegrown Classic Series, and JILLIBY Kung Fu, who was also impressive, winning a consolation of the Australian Pacing Gold, but has gone on to win impressively at his following start as well. They've both drawn poorly, 7 for STAROFSAHARA, but we saw his gate speed in the Homegrown Classic final, 8 for JILLIBY Kung Fu. He'll have to get off the inside early to try and assert his authority, but he's a very tough pacer. Those 2 horses should fight a great war in the first of the qualifiers. The only one we haven't mentioned is the last qualifier for the boys, and of course that was going to feature a $1.04 favourite in the Storm Inside, drawn gate 1. Now that he's out, I think Lochinvar Delight, who we still haven't seen the best of, finished second to JILLIBY Kung Fu last start, was unbeaten prior to that, and also Mr. Freeze, a stablemate of Rapper's Delight in Jeff Webster's Bannockburn barn. They'll both acquit themselves well. Alice Will, Parisian Rockstar for Gary Quinlan. So can't wait for these 2-year-old boys qualifiers on Saturday night. Shame the Storm Inside's not going to be there, but as we've mentioned, a great opportunity for somebody else, and for mine at this early stage, watch out for the pocket rocket, our Little General.